Hello you beautiful creatures, how the devil are you? I hope you're okay. If you're new here, my name is Lou, or Lucifer, as my friends like to call me. By my friends, I mean my Instagram account. This is going to be a little bit of a different one. We are back at the most wonderful time of the year. Yes, it is very close to the scare season. I am so excited. I can't believe it's here already. I feel like I was only just doing videos about this like last week. However, we're going to do something very different today. I'm really sorry that I don't have a lot of face makeup on. I have been at work a lot, and as you guys know, I have to wear face makeup all the time. So today's my day off. I'm having a little bit of a break from it. But other than that, today we're going to do my tips, top 10 tips for scare auditions, preparing for scare auditions. Basically, not everything you need to know, but kind of an idea of what you need to know, tips of what you can kind of research and how you can prepare yourself. So stay tuned guys, I hope you enjoy this one. First of all, if you're watching this video, I imagine you are either thinking about auditioning for a scare event, or you already have done and you are a scare actor, whether you are a beginner scare actor or you are a veteran. Congratulations, welcome to the scare industry. Hello, we have cookies. It is a wonderful industry to be in. I will do a little bit of a background on myself. My name is Lou. You've probably heard the name Lou Jones maybe floating around a few times. If you haven't, that's probably my teeny tiny ego just saying that, and now it is crumpled on the floor. But yes, I have been a part of the scare industry community for about 10 years now. That makes me physically sick. I have been here for a very long time. I started when I'd just turned 16. I started at Screamfest and I did 5 years at Screamfest. I have also helped out at my college, my university campus as well. So they did a lot of scare events. I trained up their actors as well. That was really fun. Helped out on the evenings, did the makeup, kind of helped to oversee everything. And then I think I did 1 or 2 more years at Screamfest. And then I retired from Screamfest and I did my own attraction, which was really exciting. I did The Void. I co-created it, I co-directed it, helped with the scare actors. I was basically a show captain for it, jumped in and jumped out of performing as well. That was a lot of fun. We got nominated for Best Concept of the Year, not last year, not the year before. It was a couple of years ago, but we got nominated for Best Concept and that was really exciting. And then I started at Scarefest. Yes, I started at Scarefest. I was in Project 42 and then I was in the Dungeon last year, which was a ride because obviously it was during the COVID restrictions, and it was amazing, and I feel privileged to be a part of that history, that we lived through that and people got to experience a scare kind of event during COVID times. Unfortunately, a lot of scare events did have to close down. It was really sad, it was horrible. I saw a lot of my scare brother and sisters not doing anything last year, and it was very heartbreaking. So this year looks to be an amazing year. It looks to be a year that they're going to bring everything back. They're going to come back with a bang. I'm really excited for everybody this year, and because everybody has come back, there are more auditions, more variety. So like I said, I'm going to take you through a few different tips about how you can prepare yourself, researching as well, that's very important. And yeah, I really hope it helps guys. So number 10, I'm going to start off with do your research. These aren't in any order of importance, by the way. I think number 1 is, but they're not. So yes, do your research on the company, and what I mean by that is you can check out YouTube, you can check out websites potentially. They basically talk about past scare mazes they have done, potential scare mazes that they're thinking of doing. I only say this because the worst thing is if you get in your head about a certain character. So let's take a werewolf for example, and you go to a company, you audition, and there's no werewolves. They haven't got any plans to put any mazes with werewolves in, it's not a theme, and you've completely auditioned with the wrong kind of material. With scare auditions, they're very different everywhere. Like, also I want to put a disclaimer in right now that just because I'm doing this, it doesn't mean that I am the guru of scare. I'm not. There are plenty of people who have been doing this longer than I have. I'm just hoping to show you guys and help you guys with a few tips that I've picked up over the years, but I digress. So every audition is completely different. 9 times out of 10 they want to check out the different characteristics you want to do. However, it does help to know what you're going into. So let's take, for example, when I worked at Screamfest, they had done previous scares called Field of Screams, The Barn, stuff like that, so you can immediately get an idea of what you're working with. Usually what they will do at a scare audition is they will tell you the kind of vibes they're going for, the kind of themes they're going for. So going with an open mind, but it does always help to research your company, see what their goals are, see what potential scares they're going to do. It's very exciting seeing what they want to do as well, and you can kind of engage with your auditioners about it, talk about what their hopes are for that scare maze. It just means that you've taken the time out to do your research, and it shows that you care about the company. Number 9, and this is my favorite, watch movies. It sounds too good to be true. It is. There is nothing worse than going to an audition and your auditioner saying, okay, can you show me a zombie? And you have no idea how to do a zombie. I fully recommend watching horror movies, watching a broad spectrum of horror movies. Usually your stereotypical ones, they're like zombies, hillbillies. They used to do asylums before, however, because of we've got more of a mental health awareness, and it just wasn't good. It really wasn't good. So they're not necessarily doing asylums anymore. But yeah, definitely hillbillies, definitely zombies, potentially vampires, ghosts, anything like that. I can pop a list down below of the different kind of movies I recommend. Also, just watch YouTube videos. There are plenty of videos, plenty of horror videos, horror shorts. If you're not necessarily into horror and it does give you a bit of an ick, just try looking at horror shorts. Clowns as well. Clowns is a massive one. I personally like I really like Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses, the Rob Zombie series, but he's not necessarily, he's more in the hillbilly kind of section. So I like to think that, right, okay, I'm going to watch House of a Thousand Corpses and The Hills Have Eyes, potentially, to get an inspiration for a hillbilly. And it did really help because one of the mazes last year at Scarefest did involve a hillbilly-esque kind of character. That really helped for the audition. I'm not necessarily comfortable with hillbillies and clowns anyway, but again, it really helped and it gave me an idea of what I was working with. Creatures as well. There are a lot of creatures. I would definitely recommend monster movies for that. But yeah, that's basically it. Just watch a lot of movies, just get an idea of what kind of things there are currently existing that are quite scary. So you've got creepy kids and you've got clowns. Creepy kids and clowns and hillbilly seems to be a massive one at the moment. I really don't know why. Pirates as well. Pirates is making a massive comeback. There have been a lot of mazes recently that have definitely brought pirates back into the kind of scare back into the scare scene, really. And it works. It really, really works. Pirates can be scary too. You could watch Pirates of the Caribbean for that, particularly the first one where you have all of the cursed pirates on the Black Pearl. That could really help. And it shows that you've done your research, and it shows that you've got an understanding of the different kind of characters you might meet whilst you are at a scare event. Number 8, and I've already kind of touched on this one, watch POV videos. There are loads upon loads upon loads of different point of view videos of multiple scare events. Halloween Horror Nights is a massive one, massive one. A lot of people do film street theatre. Street theatre is amazing to look at, because when you are doing street theatre, you have to improvise massively. I will never forget my first actual position as a scare character. It was street theatre, it was advertising, it was getting people in the mood for the scare mazes and stuff like that, and it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. I will never forget it. I was quite a big girl back then. I was a size 22, size 14 now, very excited about that, and I had to wear this white dress, and there was a face coming out of my stomach, and I had this little kind of remote on my hand, and I could press it and water would come out of the face, and I was absolutely terrified. And then it broke, and then the water trickled down my leg. Oh, good times. Think about where you came from and where you are now. But yeah, I love watching POV videos, I really do, because you can see so many different scare types, so many different personalities, how people would do things, and you think, hang on a minute, that's really cool actually. I might try it. I can absolutely recommend Scare Tour, Scare Track. They have fantastic videos where they show you a lot of the people wandering around, and yeah, it basically gives you a broader idea of what they're looking for, and what, if you are successful, what you will potentially be doing. Number 7, talk to fellow scare actors. There is nobody better to talk to than pre-existing scare actors. There are a lot of pages already on Facebook. I can pop them down in the description below again if you guys are interested. And I see loads of people putting up comments like, I'm thinking about auditioning, can you tell me a few tips, can you give me a few ideas of what to expect, this, that and the other. And people 9 times out of 10 are more than happy to share their experiences, hence what I'm doing now. And it's so nice, because there are no 2 scare events that are the same. None. I've worked in quite a few, and none of them are the same. And obviously, because of that, people will have different experiences. For example, I will have a completely different experience to somebody who works at Extreme Scream Park or something like that, because the mazes are so different, and the vibes are so different, and everything is different. So it's really nice to talk to people who are experienced. That's what I did when I was at Screamfest, and I'm not afraid to name drop, I'm really not. Gary Irving, Andy Porter, they were absolutely fantastic. When Slasher first opened, and I kind of walked through and I saw what was going on, it was phenomenal. And then I had the absolute pleasure of doing Nocturnal. Andy Porter again, he would stay for a couple of nights to make sure everything was okay. He'd basically tell us what he was looking for with his characters, and it was amazing. People are so approachable, and I'm not just saying this because I'm engaged to him, but my partner Gareth Jones, he was a scare actor at Alton Towers for Scarefest. I went through his maze that he was in a couple of times, Terror of the Towers. Rest in peace. But yeah, I went through those kinds of mazes, and then I spoke to the people afterwards, and they have been massive inspirations for me. Dan Thorpe as well, who was at Extreme Scream Park. He was amazing. He was like a scarecrow priest. He was phenomenal. He really was. I couldn't do something like that, but seeing him do it, and seeing all the other guys that I mentioned doing what they did, gave me inspiration, gave me ideas, talking to them as well. Don't be afraid to be a beginner. please don't be afraid to be a beginner, because we all started somewhere, and it's better to get an idea rather than thinking, I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna do this, and it completely being the wrong thing. I wouldn't be here if I didn't speak to these people, or if I didn't have these people in my life. I really wouldn't. Having those kinds of relationships with your co-workers and stuff like that, it really does help, because they may give you ideas that you can't even think of, and it really helps. I never like this idea of competition anywhere, but unfortunately in the entertainment industry you do get it a lot. I really think that, you know, help people out. Just, we're all in this together, we're all in the same community together, why not? I was in Love Hurts at Screenfest. We had a lot of college students, that's where I started from, and I had a room of college students with me in Love Hurts, and I basically gave them tips on what to work with, how to do it, how to work the room, and I like to think that I made their job a lot easier because I spoke to them and we got that relationship going. It really does make a difference. So just to reiterate, even though we look scary behind all the makeup, we are not scary, we are very approachable. Do not be afraid to drop a comment in one of the Facebook pages, or even if you want to speak to me, I am more than happy if you pop a comment down below, or if you private message me, that's absolutely fine. Number 6, be certain. Controversial, scare acting is not easy. It is very difficult. It is one of the hardest forms of acting I have ever done, because you have got to keep that energy up all night long. Those guests that have come through, they have all paid the same amount of money, and they all deserve the same scare, they deserve the same energy. I have had plenty of people, I won't be afraid to say this, I've had plenty of people in the past who have shared rooms with me, who have come in expecting it to basically be an easy slog. No, it is not. You may be in outside conditions, you may be in rainy conditions, you may be in cold conditions, because it is in autumn, it's getting close to winter. I have actually done a series about going through a scare season, and it's called Fit to Scare, and it's basically a very honest series about what I went through. Because I have multiple things wrong with me, both mentally and physically, I show how I dealt with those things during the run. The runs are long, the runs are very long. We had 2 weeks, so we did every other weekend in October, and then we had 2 weeks straight. So before you go into it, be certain that this is what you want to do. It's fun. It is so much fun. I don't want to be that person that's realistic and it's like, yeah, no, I will be honest and say, whilst it's fun, it is hard. And if you think you can do it, and if you know you can do it, you've got that mentality, you've got that discipline, you've got that, to a certain degree, physical fitness and stamina, I would absolutely recommend going for it, because there is nothing like scare acting. There is nothing like pushing yourself to that limit. I fully recommend it. But at the same time, I also fully recommend looking after yourself. Just please look after yourself, know your limits, and know how far you can push yourself. There is nothing worse than doing it for the first night, first couple of nights, and you have completely burnt yourself out. However, in my series, I will pop it around here somewhere, it's either there or there, I don't know. In my series, I basically talk about how you can combat that, how you can build your strength up, how you can build your stamina up, and how you can help with your mental health. On this channel, mental health is so important, so important. So please go and check that out if you are considering scare acting. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I really hope I haven't scared anybody by saying this. That's really funny actually, because it's about scare acting. Yeah, but like I say, reiterate my point, be sure that you want to do it. Number 5, warm up and wear appropriate clothing. Yes, as in any audition, you will be moving about a lot, and if you are not sweating by the end of a scare audition, you have probably done it wrong. Mind you, most of the time I was really overweight when I did my audition, so that's probably why I was sweating. You will be asked to move about a lot. It is basically to show your physicality, how you can physically present your characters, and what your energy levels are like, what your height levels are like as well, so how far you can crouch down and how far you can basically raise yourself up and make yourself seem a lot taller than you actually are. Warm up beforehand if you are a very vocal person, if you like doing those noises. So for example, when I was in Project 42 and I wasn't infected, it was a lot of stuff like that. It's very important to warm up your vocal cords. A lot of the noises you will be making will be very animalistic, very snarly. The grunting noises, so oh, that was gross. The grunting noises, they're not too bad because it's up here, whereas the that's very low in your throat. Bruh. Oh wow, I haven't done that in a long time. Yes, warming up is absolutely important. I am so embarrassed now. Yeah, please don't wear jeans. Please do not wear jeans. I have done plenty of workshops about scare auditioning, scare acting in general, and people have worn jeans, and it is so frustrating because you're watching these poor people trying to give you their physicality and they can't because they are restricted by their jeans. I fully recommend just a pair of leggings or just a pair of tracksuit bottoms, a vest or a top that you can freely move about in a lot. You will be raising your arms up and down a lot. It's very frantic, so please don't be that person to turn up to an audition completely unprepared. There are plenty of vocal warm-ups. For example, one easiest warm-up you can ever do, all you have to do is breathe in and let out a hum. That literally warms up your vocals so nicely and so well. You can also do sirening like this. So stuff like that, because you're going into your higher ranges and your lower ranges as well. If you'd like me to do a couple of videos on that, I absolutely will. I would love to. But yes, all in all, make sure you warm up and make sure you're not that person that can't perform because they haven't worn the right clothes or they haven't warmed up their body properly. Number 4, controversial, have a good time. I suffer really badly from IBS, like most of you know, because I always talk about it. I have to take Buscopan before I go to auditions, even now, because they absolutely terrify me. I suffer very badly from anxiety. I know a lot of people in the scare industry who do suffer from anxiety. It's not easy, and ramping yourself up for something that you're not familiar with, you're not used to, and that is why I'm doing this video, because hopefully I can help to prepare you for something that's unknown. It is really unknown. Scare auditions are, I think, very different to normal acting auditions. They're certainly different to the ones that I did at drama school. I didn't get into drama school, that's why we're here. Yeah, it is very daunting to go into something that you're not used to. Fortunately, when I started my scare journey, the absolutely amazing Rosie Redvers Jones, she came to our college and she did a workshop with us, and it was great. It really was great. It opened up my eyes to so many things, and I'm here now. I am literally here. I can't get enough of the scare season. Yes, it is hard work. Your feet are sore, you're tired. Even when you have a good night's sleep, you're tired and your throat hurts, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I really wouldn't change it for the world. And because I had those good audition experiences, I love it. I really do love it. So I'll tell you a story. When a dungeon opened, I went to go and audition, and I was shaking like a literal leaf. I really was. And the feedback I was given at the end of it was, you didn't stand out because you were too scared, you were too nervous. And 2 years later, I got in because I worked on it. I got there, I built my confidence up. Please don't ruin your chances by not having a good time and thinking too hard about it, and just relax. Please just relax. As someone who's taken a workshop, I can see the people who are really enjoying themselves, and because they're enjoying themselves, they're able to give themselves fully to the audition process, to the workshop, as opposed to the people who can't. They are so, you know, boxed in and worried and scared that, oh no, it's really sad to watch. It really is, because you think, if that person was confident, what potential could they have? They could have phenomenal potential, and by the end of a workshop, 9 times out of 10, that person is one of the best actors in the room. They just need to believe in themselves. They just needed to have a good time. On the flip side of that, being the person who was nervous and scared, I couldn't commit myself fully because I was so nervous, because I was so scared, and because of that, I ruined my chances. And I had to work on it. I really did have to work on it. And I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I had that journey. But now I can kind of give some of that knowledge to you guys and take from it what you will. But yeah, just have fun. Everybody is there to have a good time. Everyone's there to be silly. And when you're having fun, it shows, and the auditioner can tell, and they don't have to worry about you being nervous. Obviously, like, if you do get the job, you will be nervous on your first night. Everybody is nervous on their first night. It's completely different to any other acting job, because you are left to your own devices. You have those choices to make, those character choices to make, and it's an exciting experience, but it is a daunting one as well, because those choices you make can be either really good and get some amazing scares, or they might not work and you might have to reassess where you're coming from with those character choices. But all in all, just have fun. They are a lot of fun, and they're very, very silly. Every single scare audition I have been to has been just a barrel of laughs. We've all had a laugh at each other. We've all had a really good time, and I cannot recommend them enough. I really can't. Number 3, please. That's not swearing. I had to double check. Please be courteous to your fellow auditioneers. Yeah, it really has to be said. And even if you are a scare actor that has been playing this game for a while now, and if you think you know everything, and if you know, basically tell your fellow auditioneers that you know everything and you're right and they should be doing this, this and this, and you know best, please don't do that. If you notice that somebody's potentially struggling, then yeah, I would go over and offer a hand and just, hey, are you okay? You've got this, you've really got this. There is nothing better than somebody coming over if you're anxious and saying, you have got this, because it really helps. As someone who went to audition in drama schools, I didn't get any of that, and I know if I got that kindness, then things might be a little bit different, but I wouldn't change it for the world. But all in all, I'm going to make this short and sweet. Please just be courteous, go in, do your best, be nice, because you never know, if you do get the gig, you might be performing with someone who you haven't necessarily been like nice to or respectful to, and you do build relationships. You build relationships, and these people become your family essentially for however long that scare run is. But yeah, please just be kind to each other and just be nice. Number 2, and this is a biggie, don't be afraid to be silly. When you are a scare performer, you're going into a very abnormal situation, and because of that abnormality, it calls for a bit of the abnormal in scare auditions. You might go in and you might be like, what is this? What is going on? I won't say what has necessarily happened in my scare auditions, because one, I don't think that's fair. I don't want to give anybody an unfair advantage over people who haven't watched this video, and two, every audition is different, so I could be giving you all of these tips and none of them could matter in an audition. So yeah, just take that with a pinch of salt. The main thing that stuck with me in every audition is that it has been great to be silly, get rid of all those barriers, get rid of all that, oh, you know, I've got a reputation to keep and this, that and the other are being proper. No, it all goes out the window. You are allowed to be wild, you're allowed to be freaky, not to that degree, but yeah, you are allowed to just have fun, be yourself, and if you do, it will really help the auditioners to see that you can think on your feet, and you can be wild, and you can just let go of those inhibitions. You can get rid of who you are in the day, whether you work behind a desk or whether you're in customer service or whether you work in a shop, or if you're an entertainer already, you can get rid of that person and become this horrible character in the evening that you need to be, whether it be a clown, whether it be a hillbilly, whether it be a vampire, whether it be a werewolf. You can become that creature, that person, and you can do it fluidly. So yes, just get rid of all that prim and proper stuff. It does not matter in a scare audition. And number one, and I think this is the most important, just be yourself. Just 100% be yourself. Follow your gut feelings, do it. Even though, yes, you might get put in something like a zombie kind of outbreak situation, and it might be street theatre, you can see everybody's distinct personality, and it is wonderful to watch. I love going to different events and just watching people and just seeing how they perform and how they take this very generic character and they make it their own. It is wonderful, and if you can do that, you stand out. You absolutely do. Everybody is different, nobody is the same. The worst thing you can do is be the same as somebody else and think that that's right. Now, that might seem a little bit contradictory to what I said about speaking to other scare actors, asking for tips and stuff like that. I'm not saying so. Say for example, I see Gareth do a scare and I think, wow, that's really good, I'm going to do that. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can draw inspiration, and it can help you to think out the box. It can help you to develop your own ideas and your own personality and your own way of doing things. I think it's very important. I think it's very, very, very important, predominantly because there are so many scare events that do have similar themes. There is a hillbilly theme, there is a pirate theme, there is a zombie theme, there is a vampire theme, there's a ghost theme, but what's important is showing those different personalities, and it shines through in the scares. I cry like a baby when I go through different scare mazes. I do. I'm the worst person to take through, but when I'm not scared, I am watching these personalities, I'm watching them unfold and thinking they are wonderful. When I was in, I don't know, The Village was a good one. The Village was a really good one at Extreme Scream Park, and a lot of them were scarecrows and people who had they'd been spliced, so it was like animals and animal people hybrids, and that's a very generic term to put together. You're either a scarecrow or a experiment. What do you do with that? That's the important thing. And I loved watching the different personalities and people bringing their personalities into the role to make it their own. I love it. And by doing this, there have been some memorable characters. I can't give you the names, I can't, because I've got the memory of a sieve, but there are plenty of characters who are memorable throughout the scare community because people have done that. They have given that personality, they have thought outside the box, they have trust that gut feeling, and it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And with that, that was our 10 tips and tricks for scare auditions. I really hoped it helped. I really enjoyed talking about it. I would love to do a series about different elements of scare acting, whether that be vocal warm-ups, whether that be keeping yourselves warm. But lo and behold, I have already done one of those series. Yes, it is called Fit to Scare, like I've mentioned before, and it is basically my journey through a scare series and, well, through a scare season, and it was wonderful to do. I really enjoyed it. So basically the idea of it was, not last year, the year before, I had a bit of a scare with my body, with my mental health, and I went to the doctor, and he basically said, if you don't sort yourself out and look after yourself, you need to stop this. And it was kind of like my rehabilitation story. So if you do want to check that out, I will pop that again around here somewhere, and I will pop it at the end of the video for you guys. I really think you should have a look at it if you are seriously considering joining the scare community, going to a scare audition, and I wish you all the luck in the world. Please let me know if you're thinking about going to one, or if you're a little bit nervous, if you have any questions. Again, there are plenty of Facebook pages out there that you can join, and you can have a chat with fellow scare actors. They're phenomenal, they really are. This community is absolutely wonderful. It's very supportive. I have lasting friendships because of this community, and I've had the best times and the best experiences, and I cannot recommend scare acting enough. But again, I wish you all the luck in the world. Please let me know if you get a gig as well. I would love to know if you get a gig. If you've watched this video and it helped you, I would love that. Like, my little tiny crispy ego would just be like, wee-hee! But yes, thank you so much for watching this video. I would really appreciate it if you considered subscribing or liking or commenting. All of that is good. I absolutely love talking to people. I've had some not so great comments in the past from one video, and it would be nice to have some nice comments, please. But I hope you've had a good day. If not, that's okay. Always remember, tomorrow's a new day. See you later, guys. Bye.